Before you even think about the coins in your pocket, stop right now, because what I'm about to tell you could change your life forever. Hidden among ordinary pennies are forgotten treasures worth millions. These aren't just coins, they're stories. They're miracles of metal that carry unimaginable value. One single coin could turn an ordinary person into an overnight millionaire. Stay till the end, because missing this could cost you a fortune. First up is the 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny 1-cent coin. Imagine holding a single penny, small, brown, worn by time, yet carrying the power to change your destiny. Yes, you heard that right. One tiny copper coin that could make you a millionaire overnight. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just an old coin. It's a silent treasure of history, a hidden miracle from America's past, waiting to reward the one lucky soul who finds it. Back in 1935, the Great Depression was still echoing through every home in America. People were struggling, jobs were scarce, and every single cent mattered. Yet somewhere deep in that hard time, the U.S. Mint struck a coin that would one day be worth unimaginable money. A coin so rare, so mysterious, that collectors today are willing to pay life-changing amounts just to own it. Now let that sink in. A coin worth over $1 million in pristine condition. Not a dollar bill, not gold, not silver. A simple 1-cent piece carrying Abraham Lincoln's face and 2 wheat stalks on the back. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny. But what makes this humble cent so powerful, so incredibly valuable? The answer hides in its history, its errors, and the few surviving examples that have stunned the auction world. You see, during 1935, multiple U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, were producing these wheat pennies. Millions were made, but only a few came out with minting mistakes, the kind that make collectors' hearts race. There were double die strikes, off-center stamps, and even pennies struck on the wrong metal planchets. These rare errors turned a simple copper coin into a priceless piece of American history. Some 1935 pennies were accidentally struck using leftover steel planchets from earlier experiments. Imagine, a steel penny in 1935. That's not supposed to exist. Yet one surfaced, shocking experts, and selling for an unbelievable amount. Others showed ghostly double images of Lincoln's profile, the result of a misaligned die. And those errors are worth thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then there's the legend, the perfect 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny, graded by PCGS or NGC as MS68 red, shining with that deep, fiery glow only pure copper holds. Only a few exist, and when one appeared at auction, it shattered expectations. Bidders fought fiercely, and the final price? Over $1 million. One coin, 1 cent, one life-changing discovery. Think about it. How many people have tossed away a fortune without knowing it? How many 1935 pennies lie buried in drawers, piggy banks, and old boxes, forgotten by time? The idea alone sends chills down your spine. Because if you ever find one of those rare 1935 wheat pennies, you're not just holding money, you're holding destiny. And what makes it even more emotional is what this coin represents. It was minted during one of America's toughest years. A symbol of hope when people had nothing. Fathers carried these pennies in their pockets while searching for work. Mothers saved them in jars to feed their children. Soldiers took them overseas as tokens of home. The 1935 penny witnessed pain, dreams, and survival. It's a living piece of history. Now, fast forward to today, almost a century later. Collectors worldwide are desperate to find this treasure. Every coin show, every estate sale, every auction. People keep asking, is there a 1935 wheat penny in that lot? Because those who know it's worth know it can rewrite their entire life story. Let me tell you about one real-life miracle. A man from Ohio once found an old jar in his late grandfather's garage. Inside were hundreds of wheat pennies, ordinary, dusty, and forgotten. But among them, hidden like a secret, was a 1935 Lincoln wheat penny in mint condition. He didn't believe it at first, until experts confirmed it was nearly perfect. That small coin later sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That single discovery wiped out his debts, bought him a house, and changed his family's life forever. It sounds unbelievable, but that's the power of this coin. Every 1935 penny you find could be your golden ticket. Even the common ones, if well preserved, can bring in hundreds. But the rare varieties, the double dies, the off-centers, the uncirculated gems, they're the ones that reach shocking, jaw-dropping auction prices. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, don't just walk away. Pick it up. Look closely. Check the year. If it says 1935, hold it tight, because that single cent might carry the power to change your fortune overnight. Collectors say that the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny is not just valuable, it's emotional. It connects generations. It reminds us of a time when every cent counted, and yet, today, one of those very cents could be worth more than your wildest dreams. And the beauty of it, you might already have it, hidden in a jar, sitting quietly in a collection box, waiting for someone like you to discover it, recognize its worth, and let it shine again. So keep your eyes open, because sometimes the smallest coin in your hand can hold the biggest story of your life. Next up, we move to a coin that has left collectors speechless, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that doesn't just tell history, it rewrites it. This tiny copper piece carries a story so unbelievable, so emotionally powerful, that once you know its truth, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Because this coin, my friend, has created millionaires. Yes, millionaires, out of ordinary people. In 1944, America was at war. The world was burning, soldiers were fighting, and resources were scarce. Copper was needed for bullets and wires, not for coins. So in 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of steel instead. But when 1944 arrived, they switched back to copper. Yet somehow, by a twist of fate, a few 1944 Lincoln pennies were struck on leftover steel planchets meant for the previous year, creating one of the rarest, most jaw-dropping mistakes in U.S. coin history. Imagine that, a steel penny dated 1944. That was never supposed to exist. And yet, somehow, a few slipped through, making their way into circulation. They look silver, not copper. And if you ever find one, your life will never be the same again. These rare coins have sold for over $1.7 million at major auctions. That's not just shocking. That's destiny disguised as metal. People often ask, how can a penny be worth that much? The answer lies in error, rarity, and mystery. The 1944 steel penny is a miracle of the minting world. Fewer than 30 are known to exist today, and each one has become a legend. Experts still argue over how they were created. Was it a mistake? A leftover blank from 1943? Or something even stranger? Done by a mint worker unaware of what was happening? We may never know. But what we do know is this. Those lucky enough to find one have seen life change in ways they could never imagine. One such story still shocks collectors. A young man cleaning his grandfather's old desk in Pennsylvania found a handful of wheat pennies taped under a drawer. Among them, a silvery 1944 penny. He thought it was fake, but it wasn't. After grading, it turned out to be a genuine 1944 steel cent from the Philadelphia Mint. That coin sold at auction for nearly $2 million. That's the power of awareness. That's the price of a hidden miracle. But even beyond the steel version, the 1944 copper pennies can also hold extraordinary value if they're in pristine condition. A 1944 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS 68 red, glowing with that flawless, fiery red copper luster, can fetch up to $20,000 to $50,000, depending on the auction. And if it has even a minor mint error, a double die, an off-center strike, a repunched mint mark, the value can skyrocket. Every single 1944 penny tells a story of America's strength during war and the miracle of survival. These coins traveled with soldiers across oceans, tucked in their pockets like good luck charms. They sat in ration jars on kitchen counters, symbolizing hope when times were dark. Each one carries a pulse of that era, and maybe that's what gives it its energy, its value, its soul. Collectors say when you hold a 1944 wheat penny, you can almost feel history whispering through it. It's not just copper. It's courage, it's sacrifice, it's survival in the shape of a coin. And yet, it's so easy to overlook. Every day, people spend pennies without a second glance. They drop them, ignore them, even throw them away. Somewhere, right now, someone might be tossing a $1 million coin into a charity jar, completely unaware of what they've just given up. That's the chilling part. That's what makes this story so emotional, because your life-changing discovery might already be in your home, your pocket, or your drawer. In the world of coin collectors, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as a symbol of hope, hope that rare miracles still exist, even in the smallest places. The copper versions are beautiful reminders of a nation rebuilding itself. The steel versions are breathtaking accidents of history, each one worth a fortune beyond imagination. If you ever come across a 1944 penny, here's what you must do. Look closely at the color. If it shines silver instead of copper, don't doubt it. Test it with a magnet. If it sticks, congratulations. You might just be holding one of the rarest coins in the world. Get it authenticated, get it graded, and prepare yourself. Because that 1-cent piece could sell for more than a luxury car, a house, even a lifetime of savings. And if it's copper, still don't let it go cheaply, because collectors today pay huge money for the finest examples. There are people who've built entire collections around this year, 1944, because it represents the end of war, the return of copper, the rebirth of America's minting pride. So next time you open an old drawer, check your jar of change, or browse through a flea market, never underestimate a penny, because behind that familiar face of Lincoln could be a secret worth more than gold. It's emotional because it's real. It's unbelievable because it's true. A single coin from 1944 could carry the weight of destiny in your hand. Imagine that moment when you realize the smallest, most ignored coin in your life could turn into $1 million miracle. That heart-stopping, world-changing second when disbelief turns to tears and you whisper to yourself, "This can't be real." But it is. That's the story of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. A story of hope, of history, of unimaginable value hidden in plain sight. So before you spend another penny, remember this. You might be holding your future fortune. You just don't know it yet. Next up, we step into the world of another silent legend, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that may look ordinary, but hides a worth that can leave anyone trembling with disbelief. You see, sometimes the greatest treasures don't shine like gold or sparkle like diamonds. Sometimes they hide in the simplest, smallest form, a single penny that could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. The 1953 Wheat Penny carries not only the image of Abraham Lincoln, but also decades of forgotten value buried under its copper skin. Millions of these coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but only a handful survived in flawless, untouched condition. And within those few, some hold minting secrets and rare variations that have made collectors lose sleep for decades. Let me tell you something truly shocking. A 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny in MS 67 Plus red condition once sold for more than $150,000 at auction. That's right, a 1-cent coin that changed someone's life overnight. It's emotional because it reminds us that even the smallest thing, even something people ignore every day, can hold unimaginable worth. But what makes this coin truly fascinating is the hidden mystery behind its errors, the kind that are born from tiny, nearly invisible mistakes during the minting process. Some 1953 pennies show double dies, where Lincoln's profile or the date looks shadowed or blurred, a result of being struck twice. These errors make collectors go wild. Even one with slight doubling can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, leaving part of the coin blank. Imagine a penny that's half normal, half missing. A factory mistake that turned into a priceless artifact. And if that error happens on a perfectly preserved copper penny from 1953, you're holding a coin that auction houses fight to display. But wait, there's something even rarer. A few 1953 wheat pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from wartime experiments. It's almost impossible, yet numismatists have confirmed a few examples. If one of these ever appears again, the bidding could skyrocket into the millions. Think about that. A coin worth less than a cent at birth, now capable of rewriting someone's destiny. The emotional part of this story isn't just the money, it's what this coin represents. By 1953, America had survived the war, people were rebuilding dreams, and the penny, small as it was, symbolized recovery. Every Lincoln wheat penny made that year carried hope, faith, and the idea that hard times could be overcome. And now, decades later, those same coins are bringing unimaginable fortune to people who never expected it. Let's go back to one collector's story. A man in Kansas bought a small box of coins at an estate sale for just $15. Inside were hundreds of wheat pennies. Weeks later, while sorting through them, he found a 1953 wheat penny with a flawless deep red shine, untouched, uncirculated, perfect. He sent it for grading, not expecting much. But when it came back as MS 68 red, the value estimate stunned him. Over $200,000. That single coin turned his curiosity into a legacy. That's the magic of this hobby, and the emotion that makes people chase coins like this. It's not just collecting metal. It's hunting history. It's chasing dreams. Every coin tells a story of struggle, of victory, of chance. And the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny tells one of the most powerful stories of them all. Now imagine this. You open an old drawer, find an old jar your grandparents once saved coins in. You pour them out, and there it is, a shiny copper penny from 1953 staring back at you. You feel nothing at first. Just another coin, right? But then you realize, what if this is the one? What if this is the coin that's worth more than your car, more than your home, more than you ever dreamed possible? Your heartbeat quickens. You take a magnifying glass. You see that glowing red color, that untouched surface, that perfect strike. And suddenly, your ordinary moment turns into a life-changing one. That's not fantasy. That's reality for a lucky few who found this exact coin. It's unbelievable, it's emotional, and it's true. The 1953 Lincoln wheat penny has sold for prices that would leave anyone speechless. And even lower-grade versions can bring in hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on condition and rarity. So if you find one, never underestimate it. Protect it. Research it. Because the power to change your life might be resting in the palm of your hand. Collectors love the 1953 series because it was one of the last true wheatback coins before the design changed in 1959. These pennies carry that iconic pair of wheat stalks framing the words, 1 cent, a design that symbolizes American hard work and growth. It's not just art, it's identity. And that's why collectors pay huge money for those final, perfect examples that survived untouched. And here's something you'll love. even common 1953 pennies. If they have strong color, no scratches, and that original copper luster, are gaining value every year. The coin market is booming, and history is becoming more valuable than ever. A coin that once bought a stick of gum could now buy you a luxury car, or even your dream home. The emotion behind this is deeper than money. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny represents faith. Faith that something small and overlooked can hold unimaginable potential. Just like life itself, its worth might not show at first glance, but when the right light hits, it glows brighter than gold. So keep your eyes open, because the next time you hold a 1953 Wheat Penny, you might just be holding a hidden miracle, a coin that carries the power to rewrite your story. And remember this, some people spend their lives chasing wealth, but a few find it quietly sitting in the palm of their hand, in the shape of a tiny, humble penny, one that could be worth more than you ever believed possible. Next up, we dive into one of the most emotional, unbelievable, and shocking stories in American coin history, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it looks simple, common, maybe even ordinary. But beneath that small circle of copper lies a story that could melt your heart and shock your mind at the same time. Because this penny, this 1-cent coin, has the potential to make an ordinary person a millionaire overnight. The year was 1957. America was booming, cars were shiny, televisions were new, and dreams were alive. But deep inside the U.S. Mint, something extraordinary was happening. A small batch of 1957 Wheat Pennies was struck with perfection so rare, so flawless, that decades later, these coins would rise from being pocket change to priceless treasures. You might be thinking, how can something so common hold such unbelievable value? The answer hides in a few simple words: condition, rarity, and error. Let's start with the condition. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted in huge numbers. More than 1 billion were made. But out of those billions, only a microscopic handful have survived in what collectors call red gem mint state, coins that look like they were made yesterday, glowing with a fiery red shine that's nearly impossible to find today. Now imagine this, one of those perfect coins graded MS, 67 plus red by PCGS, sold for a jaw-dropping $40,000 at auction. And another near-perfect example crossed the $50,000 mark. 1 cent, selling for $50,000. But the story doesn't stop there, because among the billions of 1957 pennies, there exist a few that contain minting errors so shocking, so unexpected, they've become legends in the coin world. Some show double dies, where Lincoln's date or lettering appears shadowed, as if the coin was struck twice by fate itself. Others display off-center errors, repunched mint marks, and even die cracks that make each one completely unique. And then there's the rarest of all, the rumored 1957 penny struck on a silver planchet, a freak mint accident that collectors still whisper about today. If one were ever to surface and be authenticated, it could easily fetch hundreds of thousands, maybe even $1 million. Just imagine that. A coin you could have walked past on the street, holding the power to change your life forever. But what makes this coin so emotionally powerful isn't just its price, it's what it represents. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny was the final full year of the beloved wheat design before America shifted to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. That means this coin stands as one of the last pure symbols of the old American spirit, the working class grit, the rise from struggle, the hope that no matter how small something is, it can still hold immense value. Collectors call it the farewell to the wheat. And every time one of these coins appears, especially in pristine condition, it feels like rediscovering a lost piece of history. The details on Lincoln's face, the sharp wheat stalks on the reverse, the perfectly centered, "In God we trust," all frozen in time, untouched by the decades that passed. Now, Imagine this emotionally. Your grandfather may have held one of these in his hand. Maybe your grandmother saved it in a jar, or it slipped between floorboards in an old house. That same coin could be sitting there today, waiting silently, worth a fortune, ready to reveal itself to whoever dares to look closer. One story proves this in the most unimaginable way. A young collector from California, while going through his late father's coin album, found a 1957 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny so perfectly preserved it seemed unreal. When graded, it received the top-tier MS-68 red, nearly impossible for a copper coin of that age. Months later, it sold at auction for over $55,000. The young man said, "It wasn't just about the money. It felt like my father had left me a hidden gift from the past." That's what makes coins like this so emotional. They connect generations, they bridge time, and they prove that even the smallest piece of history can carry unimaginable worth. Even the common 1957 pennies have stories. Each one traveled through countless hands, carried by factory workers, teachers, and children with dreams in their pockets. And yet, a few special ones, hidden away untouched, preserved in their original brilliance, became keys to wealth beyond imagination. If you ever come across a 1957 penny, especially one with that bold D mint mark from Denver, don't ignore it. Look for that rich red color, those sharp edges, and clean fields with no marks. If it looks flawless, protect it, because that's where fortune hides. Even minor mint errors on a 1957 penny can push its price into the thousands. And here's the emotional truth. People spend their lives chasing miracles, not realizing they might already have one sitting quietly in a drawer or jar at home. That's the mystery of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It's ordinary, yet extraordinary. It's humble, yet powerful. It's a symbol of how destiny can hide in plain sight. There's something hauntingly beautiful about this coin. The way it glows when light hits its copper surface, as if whispering, "I've seen history. I've carried time." It's not just money, it's memory. It's a heartbeat from 1957, still alive today. And perhaps that's why collectors pay insane prices for it. Because it's not just about owning a coin. It's about holding on to a moment frozen in metal, a moment that connects us to everything we've lost and everything we hope to find. So, next time you see a penny, don't laugh, don't pass it by. Pick it up, look at the date. If it says 1957, take a deep breath. You might just be holding a small miracle worth more than you can imagine. A coin that could make you the next overnight millionaire. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just valuable, it's emotional, it's timeless, it's destiny disguised as copper. And who knows, maybe the next unbelievable, unimaginable discovery is waiting right there, in your very own hands. Next up, we uncover a coin that carries both history and heart, a coin that survived war, witnessed hope, and today stands as one of the most emotionally powerful and unexpectedly valuable pieces in American coin history, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny. What if I told you that the coin your grandparents once spent on candy could now be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly the truth hidden behind this small copper miracle. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny was born in a time of renewal. The war had just ended, soldiers were coming home, and the world was healing. The U.S. Mint began striking these coins, with the copper reclaimed from spent shell casings used in the war. Imagine that, bullets turned into pennies, weapons of destruction melted down into symbols of peace and rebirth. That alone gives the 1946 penny an emotional power no other coin carries. Each of these pennies, made from war metal, is a piece of victory transformed into hope. That's why collectors call them coins of peace. But hidden among the millions of 1946 pennies are a few mysterious versions so rare, so shockingly valuable, that their discovery feels almost unreal. You see, during minting, a few mistakes happened. Tiny accidents that turned ordinary pennies into treasures worth unimaginable amounts. Some 1946 pennies were struck with double dies, showing a ghost-like doubling on Lincoln's face or the date. Others were struck off-center, leaving part of the coin blank. And then there are the mysterious ones. Pennies struck on foreign planchets, coins that shouldn't even exist, created when leftover metal meant for another country's coins accidentally found its way into the presses. One such 1946 penny, struck on a silver planchet, shocked the world when it sold for over $100,000 at auction. Just imagine, a penny that could buy a luxury car or even a home. Another, a 1946 D penny with a dramatic off-center strike and fiery red luster, crossed $75,000 in a major sale. And collectors still whisper about a proof-like 1946 wheat penny that shined so perfectly it looked like a mirror, selling for tens of thousands. Now, think about that for a moment. A 1-cent coin, struck nearly 80 years ago, now worth more than a doctor's annual salary. That's not just a coin. That's a miracle made of copper and time. But beyond the money, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny tells a story of humanity. It was the first full year after World War II. People were rebuilding homes, families were reunited, and America was rediscovering its strength. These pennies were there in every pocket, every hand, carrying the silent emotion of a country healing itself. Every 1946 penny you see today is a tiny survivor of that era, a witness to victory and peace. And that's what gives it its soul. That's what makes it so emotional to hold. You're not just touching a coin, you're touching a story. Collectors are obsessed with the red gem mint state versions of the 1946 penny. These are coins that somehow escaped circulation untouched, flawless, glowing with a deep copper-red fire that never faded. The highest graded examples, MS 68 red, have sold for up to $20,000 to $30,000, and their value keeps climbing. But if one of those flawless coins were ever discovered with a rare error, experts say it could cross the $1 million mark instantly. Just imagine that. A penny sitting quietly in an old coin jar, suddenly revealed to be worth more than a mansion. It's the kind of story that gives people goosebumps. One man from Texas experienced it firsthand. He found a small tin box of coins that had belonged to his great-grandfather, a World War II veteran. Among them was a perfect 1946 wheat penny with a soft red glow. He almost spent it, thinking it was common, but something made him hold on to it. Later, when he took it to a coin show, the experts froze. That penny was nearly perfect. When it sold, it brought him $24,000. The man said through tears, "It felt like my grandfather's memory had rewarded me." That's what makes these coins so powerful. They connect us to the people and the stories we've lost. Every scratch, every shine tells a chapter of American life, and every rare 1946 penny discovered today feels like a message from the past saying, "Don't forget what we fought for." And here's the shocking part. Many of these treasures are still out there, hidden, lost, waiting. Coin experts believe that dozens of rare 1946 variations remain undiscovered in attics, drawers, and old collections across America. It's a treasure hunt that never ends. So, how can you tell if you have one? Look carefully at the date. Examine Lincoln's face. Check for doubling off-center marks or unusual metal color. A 1946 penny that looks silver could be a rare planchet error. Don't ignore it. Test it with a magnet. If it doesn't stick and it's not copper-colored, get it authenticated immediately. You might just be sitting on a coin that could transform your life overnight. Even regular 1946 pennies, in uncirculated red condition, are rising fast in value as collectors chase the last few high-grade examples. What once bought a loaf of bread could now pay for your dreams. But maybe the most powerful part of this story is the emotion behind it. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just metal. It's memory. It's rebirth. It's proof that beauty can rise from hardship, that even in times of darkness, something small and humble can carry unimaginable value. So, the next time you open that old coin jar, don't ignore the pennies. Look closer, because that little 1946 wheat penny might not just be a coin, it might be your sign. A sign of luck, a sign of history, a sign that fortune can hide in the quietest corners of life. It's emotional, it's shocking, it's powerful, and it's real. That's the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that turned war into peace, copper into history, and ordinary people into millionaires.